I've learned some hard lessons about the Ravens. One thing is, don't doubt Lamar Jackson at San Francisco on Christmas night.
Yeah, Mike Florist.
More generally, he shows up in those big moments. The big regular season moments.
Yeah, that's right.
He shows up and just like, wow. But they are prone to lapses. And they will, every once in a while, they'll put a game on film that you're like, is this the Ravens or did someone steal their uniforms like the Mean Machine?
That's
right?
real, yeah. Yeah.
It could happen in the divisional round.
Well,
it could happen in the conference championship round.
Right.
I mean, you never know. It could happen in the wild card round. They could get caught flat-footed. They could be thinking, we got to go to Buffalo if we win this game, or we got to go to Kansas City if we win this game. Probably it's going to be Buffalo if they would win, because they're going to be the 3 seed, or they may be the 5 seed and have to go to Kansas City. Either way, if they're thinking about that and they're not focused on taking care of business at home, like I could see oh my God, we could have Chargers-Ravens rematch in Baltimore.
Yeah.
I could see the Ravens on their way to a showdown in Buffalo or Kansas City, losing sight of the fact that they have to win a home game. I could see that lapse happening because we've seen the lapses happen with them.
We've seen that. That is one of the things I would argue that is in favor of Josh Allen and the MVP. He's lost to 3 playoff teams. We saw the Ravens lose to the Raiders and lose to the Browns and also not play good in Pittsburgh, right, where we just saw the Kansas City Chiefs just absolutely dominate them and kick their ass. So I think those are the things. And, so that works against Lamar, even though, like we said, it's extremely close there. But I think that's part of the conversation where Josh Allen's are like, yeah, early in the year Ravens, early year in the Texans, and that gives him definitely a little bit of a free pass because it was early in the year. And then the other loss is the Rams game where you were like, well, he was clearly the best player on the field. That's not debatable, if not one of the best games we've seen like ever by anybody. So, that's where he has an advantage. But with Lamar and Josh Allen, it's all going to come down to that. And with Lamar specifically, he is yet, and correct me if I'm wrong because I'm going off the top of my head, he's yet to really have a marquee playoff performance. There's no game where it's like he played like yesterday or like we've seen him play in other great games. There's been yet to have that. So that's part of what we're talking about with Lamar is, we've gotten the playoffs and we haven't seen any of this magic in any year in any of the games really. And that's what we're all going to be waiting for. Josh Allen, we've seen playoff magic. He can't ever do it against Kansas City in the playoffs, except for one time with 13 seconds left and all of that, right? But, that's going to be the big thing that they're both going to be judged by this year in a big, big way.
I'm pulling up the stats from last year's divisional round game against the Texans. It was close at halftime. Yep. And then, remember, he went in and had like a profane halftime speech, lit the fire,
right.
And then they came out and off they went in the second half, and they pulled away, and it created the impression it wasn't as close as it was, and I've sufficiently filibustered enough to get to it. It was 34-10 final score. He had 152 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 100 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns. And again, they pulled away in the second half.
That's his best performance, but I don't think that was a game where I was like, oh, wow, that's just amazing Lamar there. Like you said, the first half was a dud, and they were in trouble. And the second half was good, and their running game was dominant and all of that. But, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But that was pretty good. There's no doubt about that.
If you're the Texans, you never want to see the Ravens again. 65-12.
Bad matchup.
In the last 2 meetings.
Bad matchup.
Not good for the Texans.
Bad matchup.
Well, and it's clear.
Yeah.
Look, the Texans know, and I always say fans get upset when we point out the thing that they are most concerned about.
Right.
I think Texans fans see, eyes wide open, they are not in the class as the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Bills.
No.
They beat the Bills this year.
No, come on.
This time of year, especially if they have to go to Buffalo in January, they're not in that same class.
Think about it this way. They played the Lions and the Packers and had an 8-0 turnover margin advantage and lost both games, right? 5 interceptions by Goff. I think Jordan Love turned the ball over and threw 3 interceptions. They couldn't win either one of those games. But Texans are going to have to go back to the drawing board a little in the offseason. They're too small as a football team. Right? One thing I know in football right now is the best teams, size matters, right? I'm being funny, but it does. It really is. And you see right now, the Lions, the Eagles are 2 of the biggest teams you've ever seen in your life when you see on the field.
What in the world?
Boxing
Archie.
Day, sorry London, sorry Birmingham, all right? but I'm feeling frisky today, all right? So, but that.
Damn right.
The Chiefs and the Ravens and the Bills, right, are big football teams. The Bills aren't big enough on the D-line, and that's something you worry about with them a little bit, and we've seen them get overpowered like last week. But, yeah, that's something that Houston is at a disadvantage with yesterday. And it started, like I said, just from the start of the game, you went, whoa, like that every Texans D lineman looked like it took two of them to fill out one of the offensive linemen for the Ravens, who were in total disadvantage there.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.